Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I move the motion relating to local government in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper.
The member for Mallee has to call.
Deputy Speaker, in my first contribution in this place as the Shadow Minister for Local Government, I was already well familiar, as are my colleagues in the Nationals, with the challenges that shires and councils face, because unlike those opposite, we have multiple councils, if not a dozen or more, in cases like Mallee, in our electorates. Ours are small rural councils with large geographical areas and small rate bases. Financial sustainability is not a whisper in regional Australia. It is the ongoing number of one agenda item for every council meeting. The President of the Australian Local Government Association, Matt Burnett, agrees, saying this is the biggest challenge facing the sector, with many councils at breaking point. Their viability is at stake. Rural and regional councils with small populations dispersed over vast distances, such as West Wimmera and Yarriambiack shires in my electorate. They have limited income but many hundreds of kilometres of roads to maintain. Victorian Council's sustainability challenges are exacerbated by the Victorian Government's rate capping, which for the 25-26 financial year limits increases in total rate revenue to 3% per annum in Victoria. Many councils, especially those in the regions, often pick up the bill when failed markets and centralisation means essential services like aged care, childcare or health care are failing. West Wimmera Shire Council in the south-west of Mallee includes Kaniva, Goroke and Edenhope and has been providing local people with childcare and aged care services over many years. Yarriambiack Shire Council also provides early learning services, and Northern Grampians delivers aged care services, just to name a few. In other parts of the country, rural councils run primary health care services, demonstrating the cost shifting from other levels of government, putting strain on council finances. 14 months ago, Local Government Minister Catherine King referred the question of local government sustainability as an inquiry to the Standing Committee on Regional Development, Infrastructure and Transport, because local government faced pressing issues and that the inquiry was long overdue. Fellow Minister Kristy McBain said the inquiry built upon feedback received in the preceding 18 months. Yet the Labor-dominated inquiry only delivered an interim report 11 months after it started and was then prorogued for the election. The inquiry's interim report made no recommendations. Not only did the interim report identify that councils had limited means to generate revenue, yet had an expanded role due to cost shifting from other levels of government as emerging themes, a significant number of submitters called for a review of the financial assistance grants program. Submitters also called out the reliance on competitive grants processes that require significant co-contributions, which are very difficult for small rural councils to comply with. Worse still, state governments like the Allan Victorian Labor government have cut funding programs that supported regional shires with co-contributions, like the Regional Jobs and Infrastructure Fund. The Financial Assistance Grant Scheme is a critical funding source for local government. These grants, which councils and shires can use to address local priorities, are paid and distributed via state and the Northern Territory governments. General purpose funding is supposed to be distributed according to horizontal equalisation so that similar services can be provided in councils around the country for similar investment or effort. But the federal FA grant distribution principles are not enforced nor enforceable. States and territories have unfettered power to distribute according to their own priorities. Inquiry submitters called for a review of various components of the program. Local governments are in dire straits, especially in regional Australia. I call on Minister King to refer the matter to the committee afresh to continue the unfinished inquiry and let it deliver a final report for the sake of the 537 councils and shires around the country.